Hello. For 20 years now, it's been a Pittsburgh tradition bringing some of the city's best jazz artists together to support voter turnout efforts. We'll talk to the organizer behind B-PEP Jazz and a legendary jazz vocalist. Plus, how's your financial literacy? Are you ready for your next job, or do you want to start your own business? All questions that a local sorority chapter is working to help you answer. They have several informative sessions coming up, and they are here to share details. And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Pittsburgh has one of the country's oldest shelters. Is the need growing, and how can you help someone in need? We'll discuss. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA+, and the host of Intersections. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and chances are you may know someone in an abusive relationship. Pittsburgh has been leading when it comes to creating services and safety for those trying to get out of abusive relationships. For more than 50 years now, the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh has been a source of services and shelter for those who need it in an emergency. Rhonda Fleming is the Chief of Prevention, Intervention, and Outreach with the Women's Center, and she joins us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how this Women's Center got started here in Pittsburgh. I know it was like one of the first ones in the country.
Yes, it was. And it's a great question because actually it didn't start out as a shelter. It started out as two friends having women come over to their house to talk and just be women, actually. And what happened was the women who were coming regularly didn't want to leave. They started staying. And they discovered they were staying because they were afraid to go home because of the abuse. So they started putting cots out and having safe houses. And from that, we grew to who we are today. But that's where it actually started.
Yeah. So a lot of times, you know, when you hear about domestic violence or people talk about it, there are some things that are true and some things that are not true. Like, so what are some of those myths that you guys try to dispel? You
know, one of the myths that we dispel is that that it happens in a vacuum. You know, actually, because of safety, yes, a lot is not known and a lot is not talked about, but actually a lot of times there are people who you can tell, and people do tell others about it.
I know also, though, that, you know, it looks differently in different scenarios, right? So what are some of those different scenarios? You know, sometimes it's financial or other things.
Thanks for helping me out. One of the myths is that it only happens in certain neighborhoods, that it only happens in certain ethnicities, that it only happens if you are certain religions that doesn't happen then. And those are all myths that we try to dispel at Women's Center and Shelter, because intimate partner violence, as we call it, domestic violence is everyone in the family. Intimate partner violence is certainly with the couple. So
I know that, you know, sometimes, you know, like I was saying, it could be financial sometimes, and then and isolation is a way, right? So how does that happen where, you know, people are not allowed to like talk to family, not allowed to talk to friends?
Thank you again. So actually, isolation does happen in several different ways. Isolation can happen that the abusive person, the person who uses abuse and control, is so loving and so accommodating, and that person, male or female, transgender, that person and anyone who we think of in relationships, that person takes them out, treats them nice, buys them lovely gifts, and so you're spending a lot of time with that person, and it looks in the beginning, it looks loving. And it's, you know, friends, family, everyone's saying to you, oh, you're in such a great relationship. That is so wonderful. Oh, you have to keep, in a heterosexual relationship, they would say, oh, you have to keep him, he's a good one. So isolation sets up in that way. Isolation can set up in another way, such as the couple gets married and they're living in, we'll say right here in Pittsburgh, and then the partner comes home, the abusive partner comes home and say, guess what, I got a job in Utah, we're moving, just shows Utah randomly. We're moving to Utah. And then when you move to Utah, the victim survivor doesn't have any friends, doesn't have any resources, doesn't know anyone. So now isolation has set up in that way. So that's another way isolation can set up.
Yeah, another thing I saw is control.
Yes.
What does that look like? How do you know when a line has been crossed in terms of control.
So someone who is making all the decisions, everything has to be their way. You know, we all know the saying, my way or the highway, you know, So that's what it looks like in control. And in any abusive relationship, there is some type of control. Again, as you just mentioned, whether it is financial, whether it is isolation, whether it is because of the person being very degrading and putting the victim survivor down, and making it so that that person feels like they can't do anything without the abuser, that their way, again, their way or the highway. So it gets set up like that. And again, because in the early stages, it's not noticeable, it doesn't necessarily look like control in the beginning, but that's just definitely how it can get started.
Yeah. So what do we see real quickly here in Allegheny County in terms of people who are impacted by domestic violence? And I saw a statistic, and you tell me if this is right or not, but the statistic I saw showed really that Allegheny County had one of the highest domestic violence death rates in the state. Is that accurate?
That has been reported, yes, that Allegheny County. And those statistics come out annually, so I do think that was for 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But it did say that Allegheny County had a lot. And when you look at those domestic violence statistics, though, you're not looking at only intimate partner violence. So unfortunately, this is hard to say, but it's true. You're looking at children who were murdered as well. And you're also looking at the abusive person who took their own life as well. So those build the numbers up. Those increase the numbers. And therefore, Allegheny County had very high numbers.
Yeah. So I know you've had a lot of events this month, and you have one coming up at the end of the month. Tell us a little bit about that. That is called Legal Protections for Survivors at Home and Work.
Yeah.
It's on the 30th. We're showing that on the screen.
Okay, yeah. So that is going to be specifically for attorneys. It is, they'll be able to gain CLE credits for attending that. And it really is because the laws have changed, even in the city of Pittsburgh. When Mayor Peduto was the mayor, he made into legislation that it's a protective class and you cannot discriminate at work. So any employer who has 5 or more employees must protect a victim survivor of intimate partner violence. You cannot discriminate, you cannot fire that person because of it, because again, when you talked about control, the abusive person really can make a lot of calls, can do a lot of things to try to jeopardize the person working, so that she's going to be challenged at work, you know, because they may show up to the job and they may definitely, again, like I said, call, text. And if the victim survivor doesn't respond, they know that so to speak, the ante will be up. It's going to increase. It's going to get worse for that person, you know. So this workshop on October 30th, and you can get the information, I think you have it here, as well as on our website. So this is going to be looking at what the employers need to do to protect victim survivors of intimate partner violence and what is legal and not legal to do in that case.
All right. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this really important information. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, coming up, where you can get information on wealth building, entrepreneurship, even leadership for your young boys. Intersections. We'll be right back. Giving you the tools you need to build wealth, start a business, buy your first home, even help your kids earn scholarships. A local group is doing all of that and more. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority is a historic Black Greek sorority, and the Pittsburgh alumni chapter has a number of plans designed to drive economic development in the community. Here with more details are Doris Smith. She is the president of the Pittsburgh alumni chapter, along with April Russell, chair of the Economic Development Committee, and Nancy Hornsby, chair of a program called Embody. Thank you all so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So Doris, kind of start us off. So for those who maybe aren't aware, let them know a little bit about what Delta is, what you guys do, and how the Pittsburgh chapter is so instrumental here in the community.
Well, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was founded at Howard University by 22 illustrious women, on January 13th of 1913, specifically for academic excellence and also build on community support. Here in the Pittsburgh area, the Pittsburgh Alumni Chapter, we have over 280 members serving the Pittsburgh area and 11 surrounding counties. And our chapter, we focus on, in all of the sororities, we focus on the 5 pragmatic thrusts, which is economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, political awareness and involvement, and physical and mental health. And today we'd like to focus on specifically on our fall programs that are coming up for economic development and educational development.
Yeah, so you mentioned economic development, and so April, that kind of brings you in because you guys have some events that deal with like entrepreneurship and, you know, getting your own home. So tell us a little bit about, I know you have a couple of sessions coming up on investing, for example. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so first of all, our mission is to really empower and educate the community through financial literacy and entrepreneurship, as well as our career readiness. So we have events that are coming up, what we call our Project Z. And Project Z is based on career readiness. It's focused on adults 18 and older. We have an event coming up October 30th, and then we have our Entrepreneur Mindset series that really focuses in on our new and aspiring entrepreneurs to helping them to bring their ideas to fruition. And that's also coming up in October.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about that one is it kind of builds up to a pitch contest or something like that. Tell us about that.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned that because we're really excited.
Yeah.
So we have with the Entrepreneur Mindset, we have our first, as I mentioned, October 30th, that's business planning. But the new addition that we do have is this pitch competition that's coming up in May. And in addition to that, we added a series called a Pitch Readiness. And that really is to help entrepreneurs to really focus and refine their ideas, tell their stories before they are presenting to the judges. So that pitch competition, as I mentioned, is coming up in May.
Yeah. So Nancy, you also are working with the young people, right?
I am.
Tell us about this program with the boys.
So Embody is an educational program for our young men from 11 to 18 years old. All of our programs are free, and we are working with these gentlemen, trying to prepare them for society in the most positive way that we can. We just kicked off on the 18th, and I'm so excited about that. We had our first program on the 18th, our class, I should say, and it's going to run every third Saturday from October through May. We also have and then we feed them, and so that's nice for them. But we also have a piece that is, we have to have a male mentoring piece that goes along with Embody, and they're going to do that part of empowering our young men, and that is with our Phi Alpha fraternity. We also most recently incorporated a piece called Parent Partnerships. And we're going to keep the parents involved, keep the parents engaged. And if there's something that is going on during the week or during the month before we meet back up with our young men, we want to know. We want to be involved in seeing how we can best support, you know, our young men even after they leave the classroom.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So the other thing, Doris, before we go, we want to talk about the scholarships that you guys have. Tell us about that, and it's more than just scholarships, it's like how to apply and things like that.
Yes, we have a scholarship program. Each year we give away scholarships to high school students, graduating high school students. Last year we gave over $12,000 out to the community for high school students. We also have taken it a step further, in which we have workshops on how to fill out or how to complete your application for a scholarship, how to write your essay. That has helped the students tremendously. As you know, many times that becomes a stumbling block on writing the essays. So we want to make sure that our students that come through, that apply for our scholarships, are successful.
Well, yeah. Well, you guys are definitely doing a lot, and we put your website up so that people can go to your website to learn more about what you're doing. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you
for having us.
All right, you're welcome. Well, coming up, over 60 singers and musicians in one room on one night in Pittsburgh. We'll tell you where, when, and why. Intersections will be right back. Well, you may know that every year the Black Political Empowerment Project, or B-PEP, hosts an event to raise awareness about voting and fundraise. Well, this is the 20th year for the event and the 40th year for B-PEP. And you can see more than 60 singers and musicians performing during the 5-hour-long event. Joining us to share more are Tim Stevens. He is the chairman and CEO of B-PEP, along with 8-time winner, Best Jazz Vocalist in Pittsburgh, Ms. Etta Cox. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
So Tim, you know, tell people who may not be aware of B-PEP. It's been around for 40 years, but
40 years.
you know, but your whole objective is about helping people get out to vote.
And to do so regularly in each and every election is our theme. Our original theme was if you're black, you vote. If you're black, you're registered. If you're black, you vote. Moved it to African Americans vote in each and every election. Our buses going out right now are saying we vote in each and every election. It matters, for real.
Yeah, because we're coming
That's
up
how
on
we
November.
empower ourselves.
Yeah.
November 4th, by the way, is the election.
So was it your intent to always have this B-PEP Jazz event leading up to the election?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Originally, it was Easter Monday. Ed and I were talking about that because it started at Dow's on 9th 20 years ago. That's the first place. And then we moved it to out in Oakland.
Holiday Inn in Oakland.
Yeah. And you've been with it the whole time.
For 20 years.
Crazy.
Coming back every year, what does it change? Do things change? Do the people change, or is it the same people? Everybody wants to hear the music.
Some new artists, you know, but it's like going home and seeing people you don't normally get a chance to see because they're performing and you're performing, so you don't get to see them. And it's the camaraderie with the musicians is. We always look forward to that.
Yeah.
They love it. They often say that they look forward to it because in one night they can just hang out. They can do their little numbers and whatever, and then go and watch everybody and then walk around and talk. One of the first things that musicians say is, I look forward to this every year.
Is it, you feel like it's pretty much like a jazz session, like a, is there a lot of impromptu,
It's
a lot of
huge,
improv, a lot of?
It's a huge
because
jam
he has two
session.
bands that are the main bands, and people just come in and sit in. Roger Humphrey's band and his band. So everybody just comes and sits in, you know, name the key of the song you're going to do, and they usually know it and count it off. And
That's right.
there you go.
And Roger's been hosting us as one of the key bands for a number of years, most of the time. And he and I go back forever. And everybody loves Roger Humphreys. And so it's a great night. We have food opportunities. And we're going to be honoring those who are still with us, who have hosted jazz restaurants and clubs. And it'll be a special moment, I think around 7, you usually do about 7:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30. Some of the clubs, like
James Street.
I used to sing James Street all the time. Dow's on 9th,
Pyramid.
2 Suite in Homewood, Pyramid, East Liberty.
Some of the clubs are no longer here, but
the Strong, the young men, the Strong in East Liberty. And so we're honoring several folks at one time, and that'll be nice.
it's always a great event. And its main purpose is to get out and vote. And, you know, right now we better, you know, so it's...
Elections matter.
Yes, they do.
And in this case, this is our main fundraiser. We call it a fundraiser, F-U-N raiser, because a lot of fundraisers, as you know, have no fun. People go because they think they should. Now this one, they can go and actually see all these people and say, oh my goodness. And
It's a long list.
They don't want to stay. I mean, they don't want to leave.
So was this a way for you to kind of bring your two passions together?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Because I've been singing about the same number of decades and years that I have been an activist. Been an activist since the late 60s.
When I met you, one of the first people that I met in Pittsburgh, and you were doing a fundraiser for the mayor or something at that time. That was back in the 70s.
Yeah, so I kind of combined the two, and because I know so many people from my music career, I've been singing for over 50 years, and I've been doing civil rights and activism for over 50 years. I was at city council today on an issue regarding housing. So I put the two together, and we created an annual fundraiser that people looked, and the audience looks, not only the musicians enjoying it, but the audience, often these people can't wait to see this. Harold Butters, who's no longer with us, is one of my favorite musicians of all time. He, in the end, he stayed the whole night. And he was like around 90 or something at the time. He would stay the whole night.
Yeah.
It's fun.
For you, Etta, you've been here. What keeps you here in Pittsburgh? Is it because of the music scene here?
That Pittsburgh, I moved here in the 70s. And Pittsburgh has been really good to me all these years. I did the New York thing for about 3 or 4 years, and
Did you?
the Broadway thing,
Oh, my.
But I came back because I never sang jazz, and I started singing jazz when I moved here. I was classically trained, just arias and Broadway tunes, you know. But it's just a good town, and it's been very good to me. I have no complaints about Pittsburgh.
No complaint.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, one of the specials tonight on the 27th, we're talking about October 27th, 5:30 to 10:30.
to 10:30.
At the Heinz History Center, a beautiful place for this, 5th floor. Throughout the evening, people are going to get an opportunity to hear Tubby Daniels, one of the best vibraphonists anywhere, and no one plays the vibes anymore.
No.
And he plays them like it's just automatic. And a steel drummer, Hillary Borneo. They're going to be special guests throughout the evening where they can just come up whenever they feel like it throughout the night.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to come out and support as they have been doing for 20 years. Thank you both so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
B-PEPjazz.org.
All right.
B-PEP jazz.org.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
And I'll have my last word when we come back. Need. The 44th annual KDKA-TV Turkey Fund is officially underway. Please donate to help our neighbors in need have a warm Thanksgiving meal. You can go to any PNC bank and they'll match all donations of $50 or more. You can also text KD Turkey to 50155 or go to kdka.com/turkey fund. And we're also still accepting checks. P.O. Box Thanks, Pittsburgh, PA 15230. And from all of us, thank you. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.